One word for the Ferrari.
Intense.
Sexy.
Stunning,
Intense.
Sexy.
stunning, out of this world, one of the kind. I guess that's one more than one.
Bananas.
I don't know a single word, just a single word.
Perfect. This car specifically, I bought in 2019. So it was approximately a year after we started LGND. I had an aspiration of one day owning a Ferrari 458, or any Ferrari, but the Ferrari 458 was like the car I wanted. There's pictures of me in a Ferrari factory in Italy when I was like 12 years old. But it stems back to childhood. So we are off to get the Ferrari in Boston, Massachusetts. When I bought it, I was 21, $124,000. The cheapest Ferrari that you can get, or the cheapest 458 at the time. It was the cheapest in the country by like 15K with 63,000 or 62,000 miles on it.
We're at the Aston Martin dealership here in Massachusetts.
So when I first bought it, I threw some wheels on it. They were gold spokes, gloss black barrels, and just lowered it in an exhaust. That's it. Then for the giveaway, I was like, I gotta change it up a little bit, make it a little bit more fancy, cool looking, that'll catch the people's eyes. I wrapped it in the army green, took the wheels off, powder coated them in satin black and gloss black, and that's it. So just wrap and wheels was the only thing that we changed. All right, so here's the current status on this thing.
Still black.
It's still like half black.
You should just leave it.
But it's a sick color. It actually looks ridiculously good. I thought for LGND 5, big milestone, call it LGND V, because we were doing the truck giveaways at this point. We were only in our first year of business. We only did 4 giveaways at this point. It was just a test. We wanted to test out the cars. The guy who won it, Kelly, was out in Washington State. Ferrari is getting picked up today and going all the way to Washington. The winner, Kelly Tippett's over in Washington, so it's pretty sad. My first supercar ever is no longer mine. This guy's gonna love it. It's all that matters. He had it for the whole 3 years that went by until I was like, one day, let's buy it. But I was in talks with him since he won. I was like, listen, you ever want to sell this thing? You let me know before anyone. He gave me his word that he would. This was my first supercar ever. I want to buy it back. I want to keep it for as long as I possibly can and do something really, really special with it and show the work that we are able to do out of the lab. Washington State.
Department of Licensing.
Washington State.
What does that mean?
What's in Washington State? Come here. Oh. Shelton, Washington. So for the past 2 years, almost 3 now, this guy's had this car. That was my first supercar ever. He's helping me out on it. He said if I wanted to see it go anywhere, it would be the original owner. When I knew I was gonna buy the car, I started planning what I was gonna do. I was like, you know what? I've always had a certain spot in my heart for the Liberty Walk Ferraris, 458 specifically. So I was like, you know what? That's what I'm gonna do. But on top of that, I wanted to do a little bit more, something that people haven't really done on these cars. I mean, and custom interiors have been done, but like I feel like this one specifically, there's not a single thing that we missed, and that was the goal, was to do something that really, really showcases, you know, the abilities here of our personnel that are in this shop. Boom, shaboom. 458. Just bought back LGND 5.
Did you really?
Yeah.
No shit.
LGND V. It's done. Next step, get the car. It was December of 2022 when the car landed. Well, here she is. Boom. The old Ferrari, exactly how we left it. The shop was still being built. We were nearing the end of the construction. The equipment was in, the lifts were in. We had our technicians in training. So we weren't open to the public, but this car was in pieces before we even opened to the public in May. When I got it back, I didn't drive it at all. It just came off the trailer, did some donuts, and then we took it apart.
So my first day at work here at the lab, I started working on the 458, and it became very apparent that this was going to be my project here.
We're doing floors and everything, so the floors are gonna have to come off.
Yeah, yep.
This thing's gonna be
Got it.
a gutted Ferrari.
Quite literally, there was not much I didn't take apart on this car, from pieces of the inside of the front bumper to the intricate buttons of the radio controls and the climate controls, the trim around vents to the intake manifold. So there wasn't much I did not touch on this car. The car having 60,000 miles on it and just being used, being older, a 2010, a lot of the plastics get brittle. Just pulling apart all the stuff that was never designed to come apart. Definitely you have to be very careful and very patient with it because it will break if you don't.
Like a normal day, I just got a phone call from this guy talking about, I have this Ferrari at 450 I want to do, and I want to see if you can send me some pictures. And I said, yeah, absolutely. My friend came over and I told him, I have a guy calling me saying that he just want to do a Ferrari, asking me if I done Ferraris before. And I don't know, maybe it's a bullshitter. I need you to come over here. I said, I don't have the time to go just right. Well, let's set it up. So that's when I asked my friend, can you come over with me? See if I don't know if this guy just talking shit or. Obviously, when we got there, this building was beautiful. We walked in and we just fell in love, and then we met in person. And then we just start talking in the Ferrari. He asking me questions, what he wants to do, all his idea, what kind of idea do I have for the interior. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we can do one, and it needs to be yellow. And a nice looking with a yellow perforation on it. It's all black, but behind it's gonna be yellow.
I like that idea of that design.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you so much. Nice meeting you, man. I just got a text from him with a selfie picture from the Land Rover. He said, I'm ready to go. Where should I drop it off? I was like, no way. Are you serious? Holy crap. Yeah, just come over. And he came over here, we met, we talked, we put everything on the floor, and then we just shook hands and, all right, let me know how much money you need for the deposit, and let's start.
So this is kind of the color scheme that we're going for. I mean, funny enough, right? Fire. We're gonna do something really cool. So now I gotta go through and make my own design here. But this is definitely a good start.
Car's not hooked up, just the airlift kit. We got it turned on, we got it calibrated a little bit, started playing around with it, making sure everything works good, that we have no leaks, everything goes where we think it goes as far as which bag is which, and we'll get it adjusted and set perfectly before we get the wheels put on, and at some point we'll start fitting the wide body kit. Idea. That's definitely what we have to cut, but looking at the way the wheel is now with a little bit of weight on it from a jack, we're probably gonna have to cut up to this body line here up top to get the wheel to fit and sit nicely underneath the kit. First cut on the Ferrari. Once you cut, there ain't no going back. Ferrari fenders are cut. We're in business. God dang! 458 headlights, 458 mirrors, and 458 tail lights. These are already opened up.
Some of my ideas, they always bounced off of Gio's. He was like, I want to do the lights, we're going to paint them black, but I also want switchbacks, because that was always the thing. And then the tail lights, he goes, I want to do halos.
So we want to be able to see the inside of the tail light perfectly clear. We need to get these sent out, get a mold made, and it's going to be exactly what we send them. Problem with the inside is that it has all these dots and these rings, right? You can see all that. So if you were to make it clear, it would look really bad because the inside has all this stuff. I bought some epoxy. So as long as we can get this flat, then we will have a perfectly clear taillight lens from the face.
So at that point, I was getting into 3D printing. Okay, maybe we'll 3D print these little diffusers we'll put over the individual LEDs in the headlights, and then it'll be like kind of smooth lighting. And then that got to, you know what? Let's 3D print some taillights. Eventually it got to, we're going nuts on this car. And that's when I'm like, all right, cool. I love when that happens, when someone gives a bit of creative freedom to people, because then you get to see true talent and you get to see pride has been put into it.
We saw the color months before.
With the rendering.
Yeah, car wasn't even in here and we saw the color for it. It was hard to get the picture, but each panel we did was cooler and cooler day by day.
The 458 was our first supercar ever, and our first time doing door jams. It was a long process. The quarter panels are crazy, the roof is crazy. The only thing on the car that was actually easy was probably the doors on the outside. The inside is, actually the inside wasn't too bad either.
What are you doing here?
Cutting the bumper to its size.
Hardest part about wrapping the 458 was definitely either the roof or the front bumper. With how much it curves, stretching it, for one, it being a 13-foot piece, it's very risky, you can't mess up.
How'd the bumper come out?
It was tough.
How'd the bumper come out?
Cash.
There we go, that's what we need. This guy's boring.
It was tough. It was a tough bumper, but it came out good.
And then same thing with the roof. The roof was a one piece and it's with the A pillars and B pillars making it like an H. There was a lot of stretch, but one piece is the only way to do it.
Not always, but for the roof, yes.
It's the only right way to do it.
He knew he wanted to do these fender marker lights for the longest time. He was very adamant about it, and everyone will see how bright they are. There's these white strips on the side of the car in the wide body that it's pretty noticeable, and I get why he wanted to do it. Like it's a statement, in my opinion. Put our own style, a strip made out of acrylic, 3D printed a bezel, so that way the acrylic could sit in. These will tie in with the headlights too. Never before seen in any Ferrari. Bam! A lot of work went into these lights. We upgraded the projector to a Morimoto bi-LED projector. And each one of these little optics are individual switchback boards that had to be all soldered together to give you that nice sequential effect. Really good quality LED. I really want to test everything once the car is together so I can test the low beam, high beam, blinker, and DRL while it's hooked up to the car, just in case I need to go back in there. So once I know that everything is all set, I can seal it up, finalize it, throw it on the car, and then Gio can enjoy it while he's ripping through the mountains.
We got some of the painted buttons back from the 458, all done up in yellow with the accents for like here on the vents, as well as the rings on the climate control. Basically just everything got repainted, so no more sticky buttons, but stay tuned. Alright, we're just test fitting up the gauge cluster, making sure everything bolts up and everything looks good, as well as getting some of these climate vents put on, and just trying to, I don't even know, man. I don't even know. I'm just gonna tell you. I took this apart so long ago, I don't remember, like, was it vents, airbag, that airbag, like, I don't remember the orientation, so I'm just trying to figure that out. Because the thing is, like, the only reason I'm having these issues is because I started this project my first week. 6 months ago? Well, my first week working here.
Yeah.
Like, compared to how I am now, where I literally have like a notebook that I do where I say, I took this part off, I took this part off, so that way I go back in my notebook and I just do the notebook backwards, and I know, okay, that's the orientation that everything has to come off in. Like, upper 458 dash grill. Any ideas? No, me neither.
You gotta show the trials and tribulations sometimes, though.
faces. We were off to the races, and I thought to myself, hold tight. You see, there was just this one complication. She was already taken in what was so wrong and felt so right. She said, no need to be looking over your shoulder when you could just come.
All starting to come back together. The only thing that we're waiting on now is our seats and our door panels, which are the most intricate pieces of the whole entire interior, and of course the parts that you see the most alongside the dash.
The insert or the custom design perforation and stitching on the middle of the seats and the door panels, I had that in mind for a long time ago. I offered it to somebody and the guy said, nah, I think it's too much money. There's a lot of company here that do that custom perforation, but I haven't seen for many years nothing like that one. And I said, it gotta be somebody who really likes it. So I offered it to Gio, and what I love about Gio is he's an open mind. He just, if he likes it, he go ahead. And I like that. I like to customize stuff, think out of the box. And when he said, you know, you can do whatever you want, I was like, oh, awesome. So I started doing renderings by hand, you know, sharing picture. He said, okay, I like it, but I don't like this. Can you change it? So it was a long, 5 months.
So our whole entire dash is back. Our airbag piece. All of our buttons are back together as well. Our main panel, but then all the buttons that are in the car as well. We have some back panels. All of the speaker grills, basically this mesh comes off with these clips, right? Once that's off, there's a fabric in back of the mesh, because if there was no fabric, then you would just see the speaker in back. So they put a black perforated mesh so that the sound can travel through it. So we got yellow perforated fabric and put it in back of the mesh so that you have that beautiful black and yellow. And I have never, ever, ever seen this done. I've also never seen a interior customized to this extent. The yellow buttons for the open and close on the vents, all gloss black panels, that's nothing new. Yellow trim around your gauge cluster. But what is impressive is taking apart every single one of these buttons, down to the rings, and taking off the buttons themselves from the circuit boards, and then re-putting them on after you do all this work, after the car's been sitting for 4 months with all these pieces somewhere in this shop. So it's not an easy task, and most shops won't touch it. Our wrap is entirely done for the most part. The only thing that we're waiting on to wrap now is our front wide body fenders. Those go on the front bumper, but we can't do those until the bumper is on the car. Bumper's not on the car yet because you need the headlights and the taillights to put the bumpers on. In order to test them, we need our damn steering wheel on the car. And our steering wheel is waiting because we're waiting on a few more pieces from upholstery, and then we can throw it on. Once the steering wheel's on, we can actually turn the car on for the first time, or at least power it up, and test those lights. Once the lights are in, put the bumpers on, and then from there, it should be about a week to finish this thing. So we are very, very, very close. I knew it would go the way that we wanted it to. Whether there's some hiccups on the way, that's fine. But I was, you know, you got to keep an open mind that there is a chance that there will be hiccups. Fuel?
Everywhere. That's straight gas. First startup went well, just a little bit of a fuel leak issue. It's all good.
I
I initially was concerned that there was damage done to the piston rings because when I turned it on, I told Gio, I just want to turn it on. I want the car to warm up just enough so I can check the oil, make sure the oil is warm, it's at the right level. We'll go ahead and drain it, we'll get it refilled. And I think he was very antsy to hear the car run again and hear the exhaust. And it didn't come off high idle before he started just. To be revving it up that much, I was worried, but it ended up being not a crazy complicated thing, but just what happens is it sucks in a lot of oil when you're revving it up that high. And so we had turned it off right after revving it up like that. And when you turn it off and it's been sucking in all that oil through the intake, assuming it's going to be burning it, you've turned it off right away and it's got all that oil sitting there ready to burn. It doesn't burn it.
Today, we had a bunch of oil sitting in the intake, and it started and shot oil out.
So we just had to get it all drained out, and then the car was good to go, and it's been great since.
I sealed up the Ferrari 458 headlights. So now everything's sealed up. We could go to the car, put them in, plug everything in, test them again before the whole car gets put back together. Next, I'm gonna wire in the taillights with the LED drivers for the halos. And I gotta wire in the reverse. And then most of the lighting is done on the 458.
The put together process, and once I got everything back and putting everything back together, was a lot more relieving than I thought it was going to be. Everything fit pretty well, everything went back together very nicely. Very happy with how everything fit finish-wise came back together.
I got the ducktail put on, this is all set. The tail lights are in, those are all set. We got the whole rear bumper on, as well as the rear diffuser for the first time is now on the car. Got that fitted up last night. This is gonna end up getting wrapped, but it is custom carbon fiber hood. In the ground, you're able to look through and see our intake manifold and all the engine carbon fiber we got going on in there. So really, really cool touch. And just can't wait to get everything sort of wrapped up today and just iron everything out, and we should be good to go in a little bit.
Obviously, he was excited about it. I know when somebody has a vision and is almost there, he obviously like, yo, when you gonna be done? I can't wait to see the whole car together. John, I can't wait to see the car together. Every single piece. I finished the dashboard. Oh man, I can't wait to see the whole car done. I finished the door panel. I can't wait to see the car. It was funny. I say, yes, I know, Joe. Me too. I want to see it all done, and I want to get it done too.
All right, guys. So after, I think it's been 5 months now, the interior from start to finish took 5 months, and the very last thing that they did was the seats. And he has the seats for us. First look.
Wow. God.
You know, I was just saying, John, you should start working at a hypercar manufacturer.
How?
What do you mean how? You show them this. No words.
Let's go back here.
Yes. Yep.
Outside. The driver's side, yeah, people are gonna see the car.
Yeah, you're right. Do it on this side.
So we do think people haven't seen that little part is the rear view mirror. That was the last thinking. I just mentioned it to him. I say, oh, maybe he don't want to do it, but I know I can do it, so I'm gonna bring it to him. All right, take it, do whatever you want. And I think we ended doing a yellow stitching around the mirror, and we ended doing laser etching in the back of the rear view mirror with the horse. So I think the horse is in yellow. It's another detail. It came out really nice. It was fun working on that car. Yes, it was. Definitely, this is one of the nicest jobs I ever done. Yeah.
I was ecstatic when we first pulled the car out. We backed it out just to let it idle out of the front of the garage, and I could not have been more happier to see that wrap in the sunlight, see the rear bumper and just the rear quarter of the car in the sunlight, the hatch that we did and everything done. It just was so nice to see a project complete, see it rolling on all four wheels, stopping and just together.
I wanted to get it done as quick as possible to get it to as many events before the end of the year. I thought about taking it to SEMA and putting it inside, but it wasn't really something that I needed to do, and I really didn't care to do because I've heard the horror stories of, you know, wanting to be outside of the show with their car and driving around versus leaving your car there all week and not being able to touch it, and then you take it out just for the final day. Like, I want to be able to drive my car. So, did ship it out there, did drive it around, had a great time. I could not be happier with every single person that was involved in this build right here. The team, as far as content, that's obviously, you know, the content team kills it every single time. But the team putting this car together, me being the instruction and the direction and the voice and the mentor and how to do it, I must say that I really did not have to do as much as I thought I would have to do in instructing people what to do and what not to do on this car. So I'm impressed. I'm impressed, especially for people, you know, first year open and first couple months working with us, working on this car, working on a car of this nature, a build of this nature, something this crazy. They knocked it out of the park.
Favorite part about it? Aesthetics-wise, the exterior look.
I gotta say is the taillights. Like that's something I've never done before. That by far is my favorite.
I would have to say is how it drives.
Definitely the wheels and the wide body.
The wide body and the one-of-one interior.
Dashboard. The first thing when you open the door, it just boom.
Gio just keep with the ideas, like it works. You know it works, it's providing a statement, and the fact that we can have fun with projects like this is what drives everyone to do better. I also want to say thank you for giving everyone the opportunities that allow us to all be so young into doing this at such a young age. Like, this is so cool.
This car showcases every single thing that we're capable of, I think, on a car. It contains the wrap, it contains the paint, it contains the interior work, it contains the small nitty-gritty things that we can do on the interior. It showcases the lighting work that we can do. It has completely 3D printed taillights with a clear lens swap that you can't buy. So we completely made these clear lenses. It has a hatch that we completely molded ourselves and made out of carbon fiber with plexiglass windows. The attention to detail on this thing goes far beyond what other shops have as a bar that they've set. This car goes past every single shop's bar, by far, by far. My first supercar ever is no longer mine. This guy's gonna love it. That's all that matters. My name is Giovanni Petruzziello, and this is my Ferrari 458 Italia.